Got a quick video for you today, quick tip, how to draw a nice to scale drawing of your homestead or your farm so that you can use that to scale drawing to do some good planning. This weekend, Kay and I did a lot of planning for the homestead. To help us lay everything out and plan everything the way we want it, we needed to do a nice drawing. Problem is, when you're just drawing off of memory, even on a whiteboard or a piece of paper, sometimes your drawing can be so messed up that you get bogged down in saying like, oh, this isn't where that would be and this is confusing. So I figured if we were gonna really do a good plan, we wanted a nice drawing and we would want it to scale. When you're designing your farm, it's nice to do it on a whiteboard because you could draw what already was there and then you can start to erase things and make those changes. So I suggest if you're designing your future homestead or changes for this year, grab yourself as big a whiteboard as you can find. We got this giant one at Staples. It wasn't that much money, maybe it was like 80 bucks. It's a cheap one, but it's a nice big workspace. Grab yourself some different color markers. And then to do this method, I use an iPad. You can also use an iPhone. You'll need a ruler and your whiteboard. So this is very simple, and it's a technique that I learned back when I was working in construction. I was doing drawings for different sites, and I learned how to draw things to scale using a ruler, and it's a simple, very simple way to convert things. So let's start with our iPad. You take your iPad and you just measure your screen so you know what you're working with here. And you're not going to worry about what your screen is exactly. We're not doing an engineered drawing today. We're just doing a rough drawing. So you'll notice the iPad screen here is about 6¼ inches. So what I would do is I would just use 6 inches for this direction, and then on this direction you measure it out. You have about 4¾ so you could go 4½, or you could just do 4. It's much simpler, and you'll see why in a minute if we break this up 6 by 4. And we can do that because we're not working off the whole screen, we're working off a picture. So the first thing you do is figure out what device you're using, find out how many inches one way by the other, and try to keep them full inches. So 6 inches by 4, not 6 by 4½. That gets things messy. You can also do this with an iPhone, or whatever phone. It's cool, Androids. I ain't prejudiced. 4 inches this way, 2 inches, even though it's 2¼ You'll see why in a second. So 4 and 2. The next step, you take Google Earth. And the reason why I choose Google Earth over maps is you can change the season of the picture in Google Earth, which means if your picture is a summertime picture, oh, here we go, wow, zoom right in on our property here. So if it's a summertime picture and you can't see anything because there's too much foliage and trees and things, Google Earth lets you change the time and the season. Google Maps doesn't do that. So Google Earth, find your property. Here you see a picture of our property. And then what you want to do is you want to move and stretch and get it just right so that in your screen, in the right direction, you have your property, and not just in the full screen, but within those 4 inches and 6 inches. So you have it just perfect. Take a screenshot. Nice, got our screenshot. The reason why is because when you go to measure and you start touching it and pulling things with the tape, oh, I zoomed in. That messes everything up. Super annoying. So instead of that, so now I'm gonna open up my photos. Now I have a screenshot. It's very easy to use this screenshot. Now we can measure very easily. There's our picture, 4 inches by 6 inches. So now you have a good idea. It fits in the 4 by 6, your property. Now you know that a 4 by 6 grid is what you're gonna make on your whiteboard. Now I'm not gonna do it to this whiteboard because I already did it, but I can show you on that whiteboard. I'll grab another. I have so many whiteboards. I'm a whiteboard freak. I once heard the comment that the amount of success you will have in your life can be directly related to the amount of whiteboard space you have in your workplace. And I took that comment to heart. All we have to do is make a grid of even squares, 6 by 4. We're gonna measure the top of our whiteboard here, 34 inches and 22 inches that direction. So now we're actually gonna make our grid. Remember, we want it to be 6 parts up here and 6 by 4 grid. So we have 34 inches to work with, and we need that to be into 6 parts. So 34 divided by 6 equals 5.6. So 22 divided by 4 4 parts. 4 equals 5.5. Look at that, 5.5. Because 5.5 is the smaller number, we're gonna go with the 5.5 figure. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a grid, 5.5 inch square grid, 5 by 5. So watch how this works, and we're gonna do this real quick and simple. Whiteboard cleaner. I'm a whiteboard nerd. We take our ruler, side lines, we do it on the opposite side. And now that we have both sides marked, we stretch our straight edge like this. I like to do a little dee. Oh, forgot my tape. We'll do the same thing with our verticals, so we'll mark 5.5. And down here. Okay, and now we connect the dots there. Now we have a nice grid that we can work off of. So we pull our picture back up. Now you can actually put a grid on your photo and match it to the grid on your board. So in your photo app there, you'll notice that there's an option on the side here, this little button. You can see that. Hit the little button, choose markup, and now we can actually draw a line. So what we would do is the same thing. We would stretch our tape, our 6 inches on the top, and this, remember guys, I'd do a lot better if I wasn't trying to film this. At the 1 inch mark, we would draw a line. So let's go to markup. The 1 inch line, we draw a line. At the 2 inch line. And then we would do it the same for the opposite direction. We go 1. So now we have our grid all done. And now we can, using the grid system, we can draw out our property very simply. 4 by 6, and then on our big whiteboard here we have 4 by 6. You can put it down, you can say, okay, where's my house in this grid? My house is, it's like playing Battleship. 3 over, 2 up. 3 over, 2 up. There's the bulk of my house. So now I just draw what I see there. And a little bit bleeds over into here. There's my house, right pretty much to scale, right? Where's my road? Well, my road starts at 2 up and 2 over. So the road comes in like this. And then the road goes into this grid up here a little bit. And then it goes up here. And then it goes down like this. And now, copying your grid on your picture to your whiteboard, you will wind up with a really nice picture. Not like this one, which I'm doing really quickly, but more like that one, which we spent this weekend drawing. And the nice part about doing all your planning on a whiteboard, you draw what already exists, and then you say, you know what, I don't like our house where it is, so next year let's go like this, and let's move the house over here. Woo, we just moved our house, it was so easy. Nice. If you want to get really fancy, here's a couple more tips for your drawing that'll make it look a little nicer, a little more professional. And the reason why you want it to look nicer is because you're going to be working with this drawing and talking with people and sharing it, and it's nice if it's easy to understand. Number 1, color code. Buildings, I use red. Pastures, trees, obviously green. If I wanted to locate water, I'd put blue. Road, I use orange to dictate where a road is, and I do a dotted line just like you see on the road. You could use yellow too. Color code your stuff so you know what you're looking at quickly. Another good tip for you. When you try to color in on a whiteboard, it looks very messy and ugly. Don't color in when you're color coding. Instead, use just some basic shading lines. You see all my buildings are red shaded lines. That looks nice and neat and doesn't look messy, and you'll save your markers that way. Trees, I do little stars, circle with a star to identify trees. Roads, you can see the dotted lines. I like to label everything, what's going where. Here we have a garden. Just a couple ways to make your final drawing look even nicer. So I hope that helps you if you're looking to do a drawing or a design of your homestead. It's really important to design. because when you take the time to design, you realize flaws before you spend money and before you spend time. And over the years, I can guarantee you're going to wind up changing things you've done as you learn more and more. We have changed a lot, and we're going to do a lot of changes this year, which you'll hear very soon on an upcoming episode of the podcast. So there you have how to do the design, and in a future video we will talk with you about actually designing the homestead. So now that you know how to draw it and do your sketches like a professional, like an amateur, now that you know how to do that, in a later video we will share with you what to think about and how to lay out your homestead so that it works really good. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that video or any of our other daily videos. We do 6 videos a week. They all come out 6 a.m. first thing in the morning when you wake up and you have your coffee. Sit down and get your homestead fix from Homesteady. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, thumbs up would be great. A share would be even better. Thanks. We'll see you tomorrow.